So a client of mine asked me to share with her how to work with emotions when they're coming up in the moment, something that's really intense or difficult or hard to be with. So there are two places that I invite you. This is something I do for myself and I find very effective people that I work with. So the first is, if you're in an experience, you're noticing fear or anxiety or extreme confusion or whatever it is, to notice something that usually happens when you're experiencing something like that. There's a part of us that's experiencing that feeling, that emotion. There's another part of us that's resisting it, trying to push it away and make sure that that doesn't overwhelm us or become too intense in our experience. So the first thing that I look at is something I call inclusion. So if we imagine maybe around us like a sphere of what we are okay with experiencing, and then there are things that are outside of that sphere that we're not okay experiencing, that we kind of want to keep at bay. So if you notice one of these emotions, fear or anxiety or overwhelm or something, this is a maneuver of consciousness, it's expanding our awareness to include that experience. So it's not about accepting it, it's not about being with it, it's simply including it as part of our experience. To take away that part that is actually trying to push it away. So for me, it actually feels like a sphere that I'm enlarging. Sometimes it might come up with certain thoughts or beliefs. And if you're doing something and have an experience, I'm not good enough, or I'm failing at this, or I don't know what I'm doing. Just to include that as part of the experience. You'd be surprised at what happens when you just do that, and it allows a lot of peace and calm just from the idea of including it. And if you go to include something, and you find it's difficult to include, then include that it's difficult to include. It may sound a little strange, but it just allows you to get that next step of what can be okay to include now. So that would be the first step I would look at. The second is something I gathered from years of meditation, a particular form of meditation that was about being with body sensations. So if you, again, are having an experience and you've included wherever that emotion is, what you can also do is find where's that a sensation in your body. Everything that we react to, that we call an emotion, is actually a series of sensations. Perhaps something in our stomachs, perhaps in our chest, in our head, might even be in our arms or something, or our neck. So find where's the intensity of that sensation. Where is it most pronounced? So when you go to that place, and just to kind of locate it, what is it like? What does it feel like? What is the vibration or the palpitation or heartbeat or whatever it might be that's most intense? So then, this is the best use I have of this metaphor. If you imagine a small child, an infant, who is upset about something, crying and wailing and maybe won't stop, what you could do is take that child and you could walk down into your basement and open up a closet door down there and put the child in, close the closet door, walk up upstairs, turn up the television, sit down, grab something to eat, get some popcorn, and try and ignore it. Now, you might be able to get some distance and not hear the child crying, but underneath they're still wailing away. So instead of that, to imagine going down, picking up that child, picking up that infant, and holding them, just embracing it, just as you would with that experience, with that sensation, with that intensity. And in that place, not to change it, not to make it go away, not to make it start to dissolve or shift, but simply to be with it, to embrace it fully as part of your experience. And you may notice things do tend to shift or change as you do this, but to go in without that intention, just as if you would hold an infant. And as you would hold an infant, there is yet to be an infant who never stopped crying. And especially when they were held and given love. So I invite you to these two places. First, to include whatever that is, whatever your experience is, and then to find what is the sensation. And to be able to go there and hold it as if you were holding an infant. So, be well. I look forward to serving you more in the future.